Okay, welcome to Daily 3D Revolve. Today I'm going to be doing a Design Spark mechanical tutorial, and I'm going to be going over the constraint-based drawing tools. And I'm going to also be showing you how you can turn that on if it's not already turned on in your Design Spark mechanical program. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to File. We'll do New Design. Change it to Plan View. So if it's turned on, you're going to know right away, because you're going to have these options here called constraints. Normally, if it's turned off, you won't see those. And to turn it on, you want to go to File. You're going to go to Design Spark Options. You're going to navigate over here to Advanced, and then you're going to check this box right here, this first one. This is Enable Constraint-Based Sketching. And then once you check it, you'll have to restart, and then the tools will be there. And if you don't like drawing with constraint-based sketching, you can go ahead and turn it off. It's pretty handy though. So we're going to go ahead and cancel. So we'll go ahead and start off here with some of the tools up here. Let's go ahead and do the line. We can go over these. We'll go ahead and draw two lines, and we'll just make one of them crooked on purpose. So nice thing about constraint-based drawing tools is this is how most of your 3D modeling programs work, like SolidWorks, so they have constraint-based. So you can draw really quickly, and then you just go ahead and change it after the fact. So up here you'll have a constraint-based vertical constraint. So you just need to go ahead and click on the crooked line, and it'll go ahead and make it vertical. So that's the first one there. You also can do, let's go ahead and select all. Let's get rid of this. So we'll go ahead and do a line here, make it 24. And then we'll draw another line over here, and we'll just purposely make it not in the center. Do a 9mm. So there's a perpendicular constraint there, which will make these two perpendicular if they're not. Then there's also, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I think it's here, midpoint, your midpoint constraint. So basically what that does, oops, undo. Go ahead and select 2 points, 2 lines, or a point. It's going to put it in the midpoint there. So we'll undo that. So basically you select up here, midpoint constraint, and then you just go ahead and click there, and then click there. Puts it in the center. Pretty handy feature to have. Now you also have your horizontal constraint. We'll go ahead and delete these. Horizontal constraint would be like, let's go ahead and draw a rectangle, and then we'll just purposely draw this off. Okay, so we have our square like this. We meant it to be a rectangle, not this with this shape here. So we can come up here to the horizontal constraint, do one click. It's going to make it the size that we intended it to be. Or we can actually do this parallel constraint, that you'll have to select 2 lines, and it's going to make it parallel. It's going to make it actually bigger. It'll make it to this size here. So select 1, select 2, parallel. Do this one from top to bottom there. Now you have the size that it's supposed to be. Let's go ahead and delete that. And then we have also constraints with like this. If we have a circle here, and then we have a line over here. If you want to actually line this stuff up, you could go ahead and go coincident constraint, and then you can go ahead and select that point there. That point there will line it up. So undo that. Then this one down here, concentric constraint does pretty much the same thing. Does that. Then we have a fixed constraint, or you can actually, then we have this one here, horizontal constraint. I think we just went over that. A vertical constraint. Let's go ahead and select these. It's the same thing, only vertical. So if you have a line here, and then you have a line that's intended to be the same, but you're just drawing it fast. You could do the same thing here, only use your vertical constraint. It makes it vertical. I think these are handy. I mean, if you want to draw quickly and you possibly are going to not have everything line up initially, you could draw everything quick. Then you can go ahead and add your constraints after the fact. So we went over this one, parallel. This one is your perpendicular. We went over that. This is your tangent constraint. This is also handy. We'll go ahead and delete those. We'll draw a couple of, we'll draw a circle. Let's do 17, and then we'll draw a smaller one over here. Let's draw a 10 millimeter circle there. So what you can do with your tangent constraints is, if you have a line here and they're not touching and you want them to touch, you go ahead and click on this. This is your tangent constraint. Go from there to there. It'll make it touch, and then do the same thing over here. 2 clicks. Now you have areas that are concentric. They're touching, and then go ahead and undo that. Let's go over this equal radius constraint. I like this one a lot. So basically, what that will do is, we'll go ahead and delete these. So if you have it now, it has to be a radius. So if you have let's say you have a rectangle there, and we're going to put a fillet on here. So we'll go ahead and go to the create round. We'll purposely do a 3 millimeter. So now if you have a circle over here and you want everything to match this radius, then you go ahead and use this tool, which is equal radius constraint. So you can go click there, then you click there, it becomes small. Then if you click here over to here, it becomes big. So now you can make all your radiuses the same. So we'll go ahead and do this. Let's put the 3 mil radius on all of this. Now if you realized, oh, I wanted that to be this radius here, then you just go ahead and go back to that equal radius constraint, click there, and then click this one here, and then do the same. Actually, I think you can hold down the control, get all of these. And then go to this one. Yeah, you should be able to multiple click and then just get all of them. So now you have a they're all the same. Let's go ahead and where is my pan? Let's go to design. Let's pan that over. Okay, so now they're all the same size. So let's go to sketch. I think I went over all of these. That's midpoint. We went over that. We went over this one. We went over the fixed horizontal. We went over vertical. We went over parallel constraints. We went over the perpendicular one. We went over the tangent one. We went over just went over this now, the equal radius constraint. Now this one, equal distance constraint. This one's interesting. So basically, you have to have a set of items, and that's what it says here. It says apply an equal distance constraint between 2 sets of sketch entities. So basically, if you have, we'll stick with circles. So if you have let's say an A point, then A point here, and then you have A point there, and then you have an A point over here. Okay, so if you have two sets of sketch entities and you want to keep this space here no matter where you move the circles to, you want to use this tool here, equal distance. So what you want to do first is go ahead and specify part there, and then specify your thing here, and then you want to do the check. Okay, so now if you were to go ahead and move any of these, they're going to stay together because you specified keeping the space here. So this is handy. Let's undo that. And then also the same is going to apply to these. These are going to stay there because you basically told it to stay there. Yeah, let's undo that. Yeah, so basically you said that you want to keep the spacing the same here. So this is going to be that way regardless of what you do. Move it over here. It's keeping the same space. Undo that. Okay, so that's going to be your equal space, equal distance constraint. You're telling it you want certain space, whether I move them or not. Then this one here is just a delete constraint, so that's just going to remove it. I think if you click on there, actually we probably have to do all of them. Doesn't seem to be highlighted, so I'm not really sure how you would actually use this one. Doesn't seem to be active. So those are good. That's going to be the difference between drawing with constraint-based tools and not. If you don't have that little checkbox under your file under here, then you're not going to have these options here. So it's going to be without these options like you normally would have in Design Spark. I particularly like these drawing with the constraint-based. It's pretty much like any other program, any other 3D program I should say, like SolidWorks. That one there is perpendicular, so you could go, it's going to move it perpendicular, the line there. Then you could take these two if you wanted to do the midpoint. You could go this one here. Midpoint. So handy to have. I don't normally use the constraint based, but if you want to draw quickly and you want to be able to line stuff up, it's handy to have. You can't really, you won't be able to really line stuff up. You have to kind of draw stuff exactly how you want it to be in Design Spark Mechanical. If you don't have the constraint-based tools, if you do and you want to use them, then it's handy to have that. Okay, that's going to be the tutorial for today, going over constraint-based drawing tools. If you want to turn it off, you just go up here to File, go to Design Spark Options, go to Advanced, and then just uncheck this. Then you're going to have to probably restart the system, and then your Design Spark will boot back up, and it won't have this little tab right here won't be there. Constraint-based will be gone. So anyhow, hopefully you enjoyed watching and you got some useful tips out of this video. And as always, thank you for watching.